Hello and welcome to another SH Figuarts review. Today we're looking at the Neo Decade figure. And just before I move on, the prices of this have jumped up so quickly and I don't get why. When this one was first announced on pre-order, the first batch was to be released in August, which is why I have it now. And the pre-order went full. Just so many people wanted a Decade figure because the original one has skyrocketed in price. From the original 450 Hong Kong dollars all the way to 1,000. I've seen people even offer 1,500 for it. That is completely ridiculous. The only other figure that's gone up that high is probably the Kamen Rider Eternal Figuarts. So I guess everyone wants Decade figure, but as soon as they announced this one, yes, the first batch of pre-orders went through, but there was also an October batch, and that one seemed to have no limit. That one didn't get fully ordered, so you can order as much as you want. And yet, people still didn't pre-order, and as soon as this comes out in the shops, everyone's panicking and wants to get it, and I saw this go up to 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. It has since gone down in price just a little bit, for a few reasons that I explain a bit at the end of the video. But aside from another batch coming out in October, but still, come on, like guys, if you want the figure, and it's up for pre-order, and it's unlimited pre-orders, just pre-order the bloody thing, and so you won't have to pay crazy prices afterwards. I pre-ordered 3 of these, and it wasn't hard either. Like the shops were just like, you only order one at a time. Okay, then I ordered it, my coworker ordered it, I went to another branch of the shop and ordered another one. I almost felt like I should have ordered 4 just because I can sell the extras or whatever, but just so how does this figure compare to the original one? The difference between both boxes. The posing is very similar between them. In fact, I would argue Bandai could have had Decade facing the other direction, like how they did with different Kuuga Mighty forms. Of course, you got the 20th logo right here. You got the Tamashii quality sticker. Ha ha ha. You'll see why ha 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 in a moment. And of course, it has the newer blue Bandai logo instead of the red one. Inside the box, aside from the fists already attached to the Decade figure, he also comes with a pair of sprayer open or relaxed hands, a pair of sword holding hands, that grip is just slightly slanted forward for a more gun-ish pose, bike holding hands, and a pair of card holding hands, little finger pointy hands. Accessory wise, he comes with his Deca Driver's buckle in the open form, so just attach the pink thing onto that so it's like upwards and opened. The Ride Booker in its book form that can open up, the Ride Booker in the gun form, and the Ride Booker in the sword form. All of these accessories so far have been the exact same molds as the old one. In fact, the only difference so far is that this new Deca Driver is painted black with little pink circles instead of the multicolors and silver from the old one. And it is a problem on the original one as well, but this color is so thick, you just can't see the card inside there, so it's pretty like a function copy. There's no possibility reason for you to put any Rider cards in his belt, so yeah. This figure does not come with a white Deca Driver, nor does it come with the Violent Emotion head. What it does come with instead is some extra cards. From what I can see, it comes with the Neo Heisei Riders from Double to Zeo, and otherwise all the other cards are the same from the previous release, as these would appear indeed to be the exact same figure, aside from the belt buckle color of course. And yes, the molding with both figures are identical, however, what's not the same is the quality control. So let's just zoom in a little bit here. Now it is definitely a lot more noticeable with my bare eyes, but looking at the viewfinder of the camera and hopefully on the video later, you can still see some of these differences here. Well, the biggest difference is the pink color between these two figures. And you might even say, well, maybe his suit color is a little bit different in the CEO TV series. First of all, I don't think it is, and second of all, even if you ignore that fact, the colors have problems on the Neo Decade figure. If you just compare this pink here to the pink on the upper legs, you can see the pinks are different colors. What's worse is that this pink here is also different to the leg colors. So there is no consistency between all the different pinks. This one's darker, darker, lighter, darker, lighter. And that's not even between like the hard parts of his suit versus his soft parts of his suit. There's just no consistency whatsoever. And this isn't just me, plenty of other people have pointed out this problem as well. This is a common issue with the entire batch of Kamen Rider Decade figures, and I do wonder if the October release will have these same issues. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be pissed. the quality control of the paint job continues, and you can see with this hip here, the pink lines up perfectly with the black underside of the armor, whereas on this one, you can see there's like white edges, smudges, like a sort of dissolve effect, and it doesn't look good at all. This is actually the best Decade figure I have. I purchased 3 of these. Paint issues all over this figure. For example, these white lines there, the edges are a little bit fuzzy, they're not perfectly lined up, and again, this one is the best one out of the lot, out of the 3 that I have. And you might be saying, well, for a figure this small, you can't expect the lines to be that clean and perfect, but when I look at the old one released a few years ago, all of the white lining and pink lining are absolutely perfect. One more difference between the two is that this eye here is a bit of a bluer color, whereas this one's a bit more of a lime green color. Again, it is much more noticeable with a pair of eyes, and I hope I can show that through the video. So one last complaint I have when compared to the old figure is that there is no reason why this figure couldn't have the violent emotion head. I mean, yeah, he didn't use that in the new series, but come on, why is it not in there? It's not like they had to redo the molds. And another minor nitpick is that he could have come with his original white belt as well. It would have made this figure, you know, in essence the perfect version of Comrade Decade. He has all the accessories. So instead of the white belt, instead of the violent emotion head, we just have 10 extra rider cards. Which honestly, as an accessory, it's of course it's nice to have and it feels important to have, but you could easily print out your own cards on a printer, laminate it, and you would have the same effect. So instead of having some unique 3D molded parts, we've replaced that with just an extra bit of a piece of paper. Well done, Bandai. So aside from those flaws, this is the exact same figure as the old one. So you know what to expect here. You got these pink lining. By the way, all these black pieces are individually molded and slotted in there because it would have been a pain to paint. And I see the seam line on the edge here is kind of good. It's not too bad. Moving down, you can already start to see again this color difference. The most noticeable one is this one to here. It's just very distracting, and I can sort of pass it off as though that's suit and that's armor, but then the paint color there is different again. So moving down, to see the new detail here is called the pink driver. It does have all like 20 logos printed on there, and it is printed very nicely, so fortunately the driver itself does look very good. In fact, if you were to plop this driver on the old figure, great, if you want to do that. So moving down, just got the white and the pinks there, and just a quick look at the bottom of his shoes. So yeah, he still poses just as fine as the old one. Some parts are a little bit stiff, but otherwise he's fine. It's probably just stiffness of being a new figure. And let's see how hard it is to pop. Oh, that's very easy. That pops out so easily, and that's great. You can easily pop this Deca driver on your other figure arts, and hopefully they can pop off easily as well. That's okay. That's awesome. I thought I was going to be like, pop. But no, it just comes out so quickly. One last thing about details is, of course, this area here. Obviously in the show this bar just continues across, but for figure articulation reasons they cut a little hole in there. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I'm fine either way if they didn't do that and there's slightly less articulation. So for those of you who like screen accuracy, that might bother you a bit. It is the same on the old figure too. I just thought I pointed out again. Anyway, with articulation, he's got very good head movement. In fact, DK was one of the best real bone figures to come out when it did. It still is one of the best, I think. So very good double head movement there, super smooth, super good. His head still pops off very easily, so if you do have the old figure, you could pop the violent emotion one on here quite easily. Okay, torso movement is so good as well. Double ball joint moves so smoothly. Shoulder, dumbbell thing joint on a hinge, up, full rotation here, and double elbow joint, and hand is on a ball peg on a swiveling joint. Because the shoulder pads just move out the way if you need to. That's good. Leg goes up, back, sideways, and goes hiding joints there. Rotating joint here. Now this is actually a ball peg in there, so there's actually some extra hinge movement you can do. Just ever so slightly, but it definitely helps with the overall articulation. And it would make sense as if this was a human suit, you know. Your legs would go down there, and depending how it bends, the harder armor pieces would just sort of move out the way. That kind of makes sense. Double knee joint, foot, hinge, hinge, hinge sideways, hinge sideways. Ooh, that's like almost broken leg territory. And toe up, toe not. So as mentioned, compared to the old one, the quality is nowhere near as good, and that's That's just really annoying. So the thing about this figure is, overall, as a figure on its own, it's okay. It's still the same real bone Decade figure. It still has it's still got very good proportions. The joints are still really good. And if you don't mind the slightly wrong colors, or the quality control on yours is pretty decent, it's still a nice figure for its original price. It's worth it, especially how the old one is just so expensive these days. But if you can still get the original at its original retail price and compare it to this one, the old one is folds better. First of all, the old one I think was slightly cheaper than this one. You get an extra Violent Emotion head, as well as the overall quality control being much nicer than this as well. Instead of an extra head, instead you just get a few bits of thin sheet plastics, which is not hard to duplicate yourself. Once again, there is absolutely no reason why this couldn't have come with a Violent Emotion head, as well as a white Deca driver to make it more complete. So, October is the next batch of it to come out. If you didn't pre-order and you really like Decade and you just really can't afford the original one, this one is still decent. Minus those extra accessories, you can actually get those off Turbo. I pre-ordered 3 sets of those from Turbo because I got 3 of these, and as soon as those come out, I'm going to review them as well. A lot of the times these third-party stuff has turned out okay. If you get those third-party stuff and you add it to this, great, because as we find out that removing the head is still quite easy, much like the original one, and removing the torso to change the belt is also quite easy, just like the original one. So, decent figure, terrible quality control, just a nonsense lack of certain accessories, but if you like Decade and you don't have him yet, this is probably the best chance you have in getting a good Figuarts Decade. There's that Rider Kick figure of Decade if you want that. So if you found this video useful, enjoyed it, please consider clicking the like button, subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and of course leave a comment below how you feel about this figure. You can also support this channel by turning ad block off while watching the videos, as well as heading over to Patreon. I do have that, there's no one on it. As always, take care, have a nice day, I will see you guys soon. Bye bye now.